Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So just days after Canada, more so Toronto, had a potential terror attack stopped by Canadian officials, followed by all governmental parties requesting a deeper investigation into how these individuals got Canadian status, we have the Liberal Minister of Immigration, Mark Miller, come out with a new program announcement on welcoming foreign students. Now, with this announcement, obviously there's questions from the media, and listening to him answer this question makes me realize that this guy really has no idea what's going on in Canada.
Thank you, Minister. I have some questions from my colleagues in Ottawa. The Department of Homeland Security is going to change how it processes migrants through the Safe Third Country Agreement, including reducing the time migrants have to contact a lawyer from 24 to 4 hours. Wondering what your reaction is to this, and if this is something that Canada is also considering.
Yeah, look, it's a really good question. I think Canadians, and you've heard it from Americans as well, expect an immigration system that makes sense. I'm not going to comment on another. It's our closest ally. I speak to Secretary Mayorkas relatively often. This is their prerogative to make the immigration system faster. They're facing different challenges than we face. We do not have, our southern border is not the same as their southern border, but our borders are of concern and they need to be well administered. We have the best administered border in the world between Canada and the US.
I honestly don't know how Mark stands up there and says half the stuff he says when there's blatant examples of this being untrue. A report which just came out 4 months ago, which I'm going to play for you in a second, disputes everything that he just said. We don't have a secure border between the north of the US and the south of Canada. And it's somewhat true that we don't have a huge migrant flow coming through our southern border, but that's because we just let them fly into Canada willy-nilly from all over, and then they're taking advantage of that and going through our southern border into the US's northern border because there's no actual security. It's not properly secure, but Mark would try to tell you otherwise. So how about you watch this and take a look for yourself?
Tonight in our Question Everything, we take a look at the migrant crisis at the border, but we're not talking about the southern border. We're talking about the border in our own backyard. The number of people crossing from Canada into New England is rising rapidly.
It was lights and speed for Border Patrol agents headed to the line between Vermont and Canada.
Hey, partner, there's a white van that just came down this way, and he's heading back up. It looks like he's heading towards 114.
We saw agents arresting a Lithuanian national, the man detected by a sensor in the woods.
That's where he crossed.
One agent took a picture of his shoe, a piece of evidence that could prove he illegally crossed the border.
It was a flood we had not seen before. It was an exponential shift, something we were not expecting, and it just it hit us hard.
This is the new reality for agents in the Swanton sector. 295 miles of tough and varying border terrain across 5 northeastern counties of New York, all of Vermont, and New Hampshire. Where once it was more common to see deer than people, now Eric Lavallee, the agent in charge of Swanton's Beecher Falls station, says the border is seeing record illegal crossings. 7,000 people arrested in fiscal year 2023, more than the previous 12 years combined.
I have never seen anything like it.
They have come from 66 different countries: India, Bangladesh, Haiti, Venezuela, with approximately 49% coming from Mexico.
Most of the people that we are encountering are single adults.
Single adults, mostly men?
Mostly men.
And Eric says most of the people who come are involved in smuggling. This video shows attempted human smuggling in New York last year, stopped by Border Patrol.
Are the drug cartels behind this?
Some may be, some might not be.
Last fiscal year, Border Patrol apprehended 564 people on the terror watch list. Of them, 484 were encountered on the northern border.
Now, if we just take that in for a second there, almost 600 people who were caught were on a terror watch list, and close to 500 of those people came through the northern border of the US, meaning they were in Canada and they used our southern border to get into the US. And this guy's standing up here saying, yeah, we need to investigate how this father got Canadian citizenship who was about to commit a terror attack. Apparently there was almost 500 other individuals who were on a terror watch list that were here as well. And luckily for us, they were more interested in getting into the US than doing anything on Canadian soil. But you have Mark here saying that they're potentially going to be looking into revoking the Canadian citizenship of this individual.
So, right, look, I'd like to give you a better answer, frankly, today, and I don't have one better than the one I'm about to give you. The reality is I want to know exactly what happened, when, and how. That is something I have ordered my deputy minister to undertake with my department, to look at the timeline at which the individual in question got their permanent residency and citizenship, who knew what, when, and how. I hope to be able to provide answers in a relatively short timeline about what happened. I'm as disgusted as any Canadian, but I have a responsibility to get to the bottom of it, and I will. The information that I can share in the context of criminal proceedings may be limited, but I want to make sure first and foremost that Canadians are safe and that we do not compromise an ongoing court case. But again, I think Canadians deserve answers. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I'm also going to take the next step, which is to start the preliminary work with the evidence at hand to look at whether the individual in question's citizenship should be revoked.
And then in typical Liberal fashion, Mark tries to throw it on the Conservatives, saying that they're the ones to blame. All the other parties want this reform that they have put forward, but the Conservatives are blocking them. They said, we're a minority government, yet they have the control from all the other parties, the support from all the other parties to get whatever they want pushed through. Yet they're saying the Conservatives are the ones that are blocking them, and that any issues at the border is potentially on them. But when we go back to the other report, they actually state something different. So take a look.
But it's something that is constant need of vigilance and sometimes needs some reform. We proposed some reforms as part of the last budget, but they were rejected by Pierre Poilievre's Conservatives, even though those reforms look like ones proposed by his prior government and by the Bloc Québécois and by the NDP. So we're doing stuff, but we're in a minority and we're being blocked.
Meanwhile,
the questions are, why here? Why now? Eric says one of the reasons is Canadian foreign policy. Up until a few weeks ago, Canada did not require Mexicans and some other foreign nationals to have travel visas to fly to the country.
For a very minimal fee, they would be able to enter the country as a tourist. Some folks utilizing the ETA program were being arrested here in the United States for illegal entry within 24 hours of their landing in Canada.
Can you send them back to Canada?
Unfortunately, no.
Why they're coming may differ too.
They're trying to find that vulnerability and come into the United States without detection.
This stream is the border between the U.S. and Canada. Now, obviously, the water is very high right now, but it shows another challenge facing Border Patrol. There are times when the water is ankle depth, easily wadable for anyone looking to cross it.
Somebody can drive in, pick up, and then depart the area.
The journey from mountains to snow-covered roads may not always end in a Border Patrol sally port, but it is fraught with danger, and the job for agents is also growing increasingly risky.
We have seen some of the smugglers, when they're attempting to ramming Border Patrol vehicles. It may just be a matter of time before we do face some serious repercussions and serious issues.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope that they don't deal with the potential terror attack like we just finished dealing with. And that was blatantly because immigration, the process, it's just falling through the cracks. Yet Mark here is talking about how they want to improve the asylum seekers program, as even though the numbers are out of control, he admits, and there's been an increase. He says he wants to get the immigration process rolling because there's such a long queue. How about we just shut down the borders for a bit? Take it easy on that. But no, listen to Mark.
Is there more to do? Absolutely. And it's something that I'm going to be announcing in the next few months as to how we make the asylum system more effective and efficient, particularly as we deal with the historic volumes that we've seen the last 2 years. Our systems will never mirror those of the United States for legal reasons, but also for political reasons. We do have to make sure that we have a northern perimeter that is safe and secure. And so I'm not going to comment directly on the individual measures, but any reforms to the asylum system that follow the rule of law are ones that are important. And given the volume that we face at the Immigration Refugee Board, I also want to see things accelerating as well. So hopefully some measures to announce in the next little while. And we really, truly hope that the other parties in Parliament don't oppose that.
Well, I hope that they do, because a vast majority of Canadians don't agree with this. A vast majority of even immigrants don't agree with the influx that is coming, because the new immigrants are much different than the old immigrants. These refugees, asylum seekers, all them, nobody wants to assimilate. Nobody wants to follow the rule of law. They just want everything catered to themselves. And you keep allowing all these different programs like this one, this new program you have, welcoming foreign students. Like, we don't need more foreign students. We don't need more temporary workers, temporary residents, anything like that. Shut it down for a bit, calm down, let our numbers come back down, because you just admitted that it's historic numbers. It's out of control. We can't keep letting like 1.5 to 2 million people in every year. We just don't have the infrastructure for all that. But as always, this is just my opinion. Love to hear from you guys. So let me know in the comment section below what you think about all this. I'm going camping, so I'll be gone for the weekend. And I will catch you guys hopefully Monday, Tuesday. Hope you all enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you later.